Good morning, y'all, and we are finally getting to the garden update. Welcome to Sweet Pea Crafts. If you're new, my name is Christy. I live in South Louisiana, Zone 9A, and there's a plane going overhead. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to turn you around in a minute and show you something, and we'll talk at the end about the pole barn. We have finally made some progress on that, so excited to see that. But I'm going to turn you around and show you what I have going on right here real quick. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn them around so I can see what's what. Of course, I don't have it together. This is all broccoli, and you can see they're starting to come up. One of these, this one is cabbage and bok choy. This one is cauliflower, and I've got some coming up in there. And then this one is another kind of broccoli. And then over here, I had taken some cuttings off of my old tomatoes. They're not looking too hot, but I did start a few bush tomatoes in here, so even if that's the only ones that grow, that'll be fine. I was just wanting to see how fall tomatoes would do. This will be my first year having a fall garden. Sorry for my scratchy throat. Oh, I should have been out here an hour ago. It's 9 o'clock and it's already probably 85 degrees. So let's go in the main garden and I'll show you the good and the bad, or the good and the ugly. Okay, I guess the first thing you'll notice is the arch trellis is pretty much empty. I only have one thing left growing. My kukutsa finally got done. I had 2 plants and I must have gotten at least 30. I wish I'd counted them. I had quite a few, but I've cleared it off for the most part, and the only thing left growing over here is some little cucamelons. And I have tried growing these. This is my 3rd year. And they grow and grow and I never get any. I mean, you can see how tiny the flowers are. And there's one trying to make, but either something always gets to them. Now today it's going to make me a liar. I'm going to take that off. Have to look closer and see if I have some more. Well, anyway, that's the first one. Here's one, not ready yet. So anyway, all my other stuff that was on the trellis is done for. And I don't think this black plastic did me any favors this year. So I'm going to be pulling that up before I plant my fall cucumbers and whatever else I end up putting over here. I'm not sure yet. So let's take a walk down the pepper row first this time. This is usually where I end up. These peppers on this end, those are my poblanos, and they look really good. I need to come out here and pick some stuff. These are my serranos, and that one's ready. When they start getting those little lines on them, it means they're spicier, ready to be picked. But some of my, I don't know what their technical name is, but they're huge, big black and red grasshoppers. If you live in the South, you know what I'm talking about. And they were eating my plants up, but they seem to have moved on. They're the hardest things ever to squish. I am not a bug person, but I promise you, I have squished my share of bugs this year. And starting right here, I think all of these plants are jalapenos, and everything is looking pretty sad right now, except my basil. It's about 3 feet tall. My basil's going good. but not much else. You can really tell on these plants. These were my my poor banana peppers. I mean, look at that. It's so sad. I hope they bounce back. I fertilized and I did break down and spray, but they've lost so many leaves. And this one right here definitely doesn't look like it's gonna bounce back. And that was another banana pepper. There's one with a few small ones on it. So we shall see. I definitely lost some peppers to the bugs. And then I have some going pretty strong. These are those lemon spicy peppers, lemon drops. I need to come out here and pick. I see a lot of them are turning. And then over here I have some cayennes that are ready to be picked today. But even here you can see they've had some damage on the stems. These were my Jimmy Nardellos. They're just, I don't know. It's August. Everything is looking pretty sad. This is a Sugar Rush Peach. It's trying hard to hang on. I have a few on there, but they're not quite ready yet. And then down here, one lonely cayenne. And this is another jalapeno. It's tall. It's almost as tall as me, but not really doing a whole lot. So I'm just trying to get these peppers to hang on until after we get a little cool down. Try to make it through the month of August. Right now we're in a huge heat wave. And even something has been eating on my, they're finally starting to flower, on my eggplants. And I'm just gonna let them go. I'm not a huge eggplant fan. I don't really know why I planted them. I don't know, just because my mom likes them. So these were sorry for the sun. All of these were my lima beans, and they've just it's time for me to pull them. They're done. I didn't get much off of them this year either. I have just never had good luck really with pole beans. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think this is a white runner, Kentucky. I mean, I'll get a few, but never enough to really even make a meal. I have a few up here. You can see them. But the one thing I do get a ton of are these. These are asparagus beans or yard-long beans. This one's not quite ready, but let's see if I can find one that is. I could get this one today. I mean, they don't ever really get a yard long, but they're about 2 feet. This one's ready. It's a little shorter, and some of them, I don't know why, some of them are red. And some of them down here, these are green. Now this one's definitely ready. I need to come back and harvest that when we finish. So they're going great. You can see all the pretty little purple blooms on them. They're doing great, and I love them. The only problem is they're not good canned. You gotta freeze them. And then over here, this whole row was my tomatoes, so you can tell I've pulled all my tomatoes. And this is Thai soldier beans, and they are a different kind of a long bean, and that's about as long as they've been getting for me. They're doing great. I really liked the dragon bush beans that I had planted, but they did not do well at all. They just got overwhelmed with blight, powdery mildew, rust, and they didn't do great at all. But I have started something that I'll show you in just a sec. All of these were what's left of my sunflowers. we did get about a week's worth of rain in 3 days, a ton of rain. And during all that, they fell over, and by the time I got out here to save the heads so I could get the seeds off of it, they were just rotted. But you can see all along here, I have mulched at least 4 to 6 inches with grass clippings. And I truly hope I did not, so far I think it's doing great. I hope I didn't make a mistake. I have seen someone else that gardens do it, and you know, I was just overrun with weeds and I could not keep up with it. And these plants that, I mean, this is all weeds that I need to come back and mulch some more. But this and this, those are marigolds. And then these are more Thai soldier beans that I planted over here. I didn't mean to plant those there. But that's okay, because that's really all the beans I have going right now. And even those, you can see they're getting eaten on by something. So because of all that rain, we couldn't cut grass. And I came along and hand pulled a lot of stuff along here. But it's just gotten too hot for me to do it for long. And I had gotten Denny to pick me up some pine straw mulch to use, and it was working okay, but not great. And since it took us so long to be able to cut grass because it was so wet, I was able to, when we did finally cut grass, it was high. It was probably 2 feet high. So I got all of this mulch last weekend. I raked the entire yard, which is, I don't know, what I raked is probably about an acre. And so far, it looks much better out here than it did before. But, here, let me stand back here. The squash bugs have enjoyed the fruits of my labor. All of these empty spots were places where I had planted bush beans, and they all died. All right here. And this whole row was also bush beans, and they are gone. But this row, the entire row, was every zucchini seed I owned. I was determined to try to get some zucchinis this year, and some of the plants are doing good. I don't have any zucchinis yet, but some of them were not affected by the squash bugs and the vine borers. So they're flowering. Let's see if I do have some kind of bean trying to come up right here. We'll see, but maybe we can see that they're starting to flower. So maybe I'll look up and get some. I came along and sprayed them with some BT and trying to get rid of them, and this one right here is trying to come back. And then this end of the garden, for whatever reason, always looks better than the other end. And all of the zucchini, most of the zucchini I planted on this end is doing pretty good. Like I said, no zucchini yet, but at least they're not dead. And then here is the other side of my tomato trellis. And these are all those Thai soldier beans. I've got to come pick these today. Haven't picked in a couple of days. So, I mean, it's not a total loss on the garden. I mean, some things are over, some things are dead, and some things are doing really well. So, considering I have not had the time to really come in and baby things too much, there's some blooms trying to come up down here, kind of see. I'm pretty pleased. I was just peeking around this morning to see if I do have any zucchinis down here. There's another flower, but no zucchini yet. Ow, ow, ow. Ouch. Ants. I have fought ants this whole summer. So, I couldn't tell you what kind of okra this is, but again, this is almost as tall as me. And I have to be really careful with the okra because it makes me itch so bad, but it's trying to put on some blooms, so hopefully in the next week or two. There's a bloom right there trying to open. The katydids are still really bad here. There's another bloom on the other side. I'll go over so you can see it good. But you can see how eaten up the leaves are. But this kind on this end is doing really well. And I did label it, but off the top of my head, I don't know what it is. But I do know what this is in the middle. And if you can see, let me walk back down there without getting in those ants again. All these with the red stems were a burgundy type, and they are not looking hot at all, so hot at all. They're only a couple feet tall compared to everything else. This down here on this end is really big, and that's the okra seeds that Mr. Jimmy, a friend of ours, gave me. And he, those are a long okra. They get really big. And also, you know, something's eating on them too, which is fine. I don't care if they're eating, you know, I don't care if something's eating the leaves, but I sure wish they would not kill my plants while they're doing it. So here's the back side of this okra. Nothing blooming yet on Mr. Jimmy's okra. But this is the part of my garden that I only had the a little bit of pine mulch on, and you can tell how much weedier it is. And then this stuff right here, I don't know if this is wild morning glory or what it is, but this time of year it pops up and will just destroy stuff. Even the pigs won't eat it. And on this end you can see, let me see if I can show you, where this right here is really invasive too. But squash vine borers just got this pumpkin. I mean, it's gone. And this one too. So sad, because I don't know. I only planted a few seeds of each one, and now I've got to go back and see which ones I don't have growing. I mean, once they start producing fruit, I'll know what's what, but I don't see my tags right here. I think and this one's just barely hanging on. But it does have a flower, and on the mornings when I can, I've been coming out looking for female flowers and hand pollinating when I can. And as you can tell, I've had to make holes in my deer fencing, and it's just running off into the woods. But I really only want to get 1 or 2 pumpkins off of each vine, and so once they set some fruit, I can trim those where they're not running off in the woods. So after I finish filming, I'm going to come back and see if I can find any, but I know I have a few fruits set on this one. I'll walk you out there and see if we can see them. Here's one right here I pollinated, and I might go back and see if I can pollinate it again. You can see where I had to kind of open it up. Can't see anything if I don't get the camera right. That looks like that might be a green and white cush-off. Now I got to get my hand back in the fence. But I don't know. We will see. I was a little bit late getting my pumpkins in. Not real late, just a week or two. And down here you can tell I haven't really mulched at all. But they've been slow to put on female flowers. Look at this. That's poop from a bug. Bug poop. Oh, but look at the bumblebees. I'm gonna have to try to come back and get a picture. So, I do have pollinators. And they seem to be doing their job. Let me show you. I'm trying to step around these vines without stepping on anything. I trimmed back my, all this whole area was my watermelons. Can't think of what I'm trying to say. And the last watermelon I have is right here. Let me zoom in. That's the last one. It grew kind of funny, has a little tiny neck on it. And I don't know if it's ready or not. I just haven't picked it because I just picked my last big one out of here the other day. So it's about time for me to pull all this down too. It's just so darn hot. You can only get out here for a little while. And I mean, the watermelon vine is still blooming, still trying to do stuff. This one I got melons off of is called Jubilee. And then look, the bumblebees are loving it. My echinacea bloomed this year. I was pretty surprised. I didn't think it was going to bloom. So that's good. There's nothing in these other two pots but weeds. Lots and lots of weeds, and I don't need to be stepping around in there. I'm sure there could be a snake. So that's about it for the garden. There's some mammoth basil that's doing good. I've had good luck with all my basil this year, and I haven't put any of it away, but I've drank a lot of basil tea. And right here, Pickles, you want a bean? Hey, my girl, you want this? You want the green bean? There you go. Pickles and Pig are doing good. Hey, Mr. Pig. She loves her a good ear rub. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Her spoiled. And you too. You're spoiled too. Yes, you are. Okay. This is where I have my sweet potatoes planted, and they are gone. But I did take some cuttings from my mom's Peggy Martin rose. And this is maybe the only one that's taken. It's the only one that's still green. So, I don't know. This is always the time of year. The garden poops out, and so do I. But the girls are doing good. Everybody's got their water in their pools. And then this, if any of you remember at the beginning of the season, I said, oh, this is mullein I planted here. And I kept thinking, that does not look like any mullein I have ever seen. It's not. It's mammoth basil. I guess I just got it mislabeled. But that's okay. Coda, what are you doing over here? There's a dog that doesn't belong to me. Nala and Coda. Y'all go home, please. Go home. Go home, Coda. This is why I have to keep my garden closed off, not just for the deer. Now Nala, she's a beagle. She chases off the rabbits for me. But anyway. So let's take a look real quick, because I'm about done. It's hot out here. Please ignore all the, I mean, he's getting it organized, but he's gonna fuss at me later for not knowing how big this thing is. But all the roofing is done, and he put the that wrap, the white wrap over there that says Lowe's. We put some of that up in a section. He's got some salvage tin that we're going to use for this backside, and maybe over there he needed a dry corner. And for the time being, we're just going with the dirt floor. It'll be a work in progress. It'll eventually get concreted, and he's eventually going to have it all. I think this one section, 12, I want to say it's 12 by 24. Let me stand at the end of it. So this section here where the lawnmower is and all is going to be open, no walls, and the rest of it's going to be walled in, I believe. But I'm betting when he watches my video, he's going to say, you forgot to tell him something. But bless his heart, and me too, and our son Michael, he worked so hard trying to get this up this time of year, all this roofing. But it's up and done, and we are glad to have it done. And a couple of days ago, we got a gully washer, and nothing got wet back here. For the most part, even the ground stayed dry, so very pleased about that. And now we've got to find a way to, now it's time to be thinking about fall projects and fall gardening. This is where my corn was last year, and it's not going to be there anymore. And we've got to do something with the tops of these telephone poles. And you can see here the other day I got a little too aggressive pulling weeds, and I pulled down a whole bunch of this deer fencing, so we stuck it back up with zip ties because that's how we roll around here. So anyway, let me walk you back in the shade and get a sip of water. Oh, I didn't do anything but walk around and I'm sweating. I did want to say that I got me some actual cover ordered. It came in yesterday for my greenhouse. So I hope this weekend we'll be able to put that up. It won't be the ends of it. We'll have to do something else for the ends. He's gonna make me a couple of doors or windows. But everything's coming along one step at a time. I tell Denny, I was like, my mom used to say growing up, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's just kind of how we've been getting on this summer. Just one thing at a time, one day at a time. I think you will see this video on Friday. Today is Wednesday. And thank you for all the prayers, everybody that prayed for my mom. She had her little cardiac test done yesterday for her AFib, and she does not have an infection in her heart, which is great news. So hopefully she will continue to improve every day. And once we get through this, she'll start back on her chemo treatment, I think. I don't know. We haven't even seen that doctor yet. One thing at a time. But she's doing much better, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the prayers. I believe in the power of prayer, and I just know that, please, that you blessed me and you blessed her. And I hope that y'all have a blessed day. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. In a couple of weeks, well, in September, I'll be planting all these cabbages and broccoli and stuff. And then towards the maybe last week of August, I'm trying to follow the moon chart this year for my fall garden. And so I need to look and see when I can plant those fall tomatoes, if they look like they're going to make it. I'm not that worried about it, but I just thought I have the space, I'll give it a try. And so the fall garden for me is going to be exciting this year because I've never had one. And I'll be able to plant, I don't know, I have a whole list of stuff. Kale, peas, sugar snap peas, and carrots. And as the seasons change, I'll have a lot more time to craft too. So I'm excited about that. But I'm just being rambly and chatty. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you did. I love y'all. Have a blessed day. Bye.